Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Shirley's Salad podcast. I'm still working on my blanket, the cable and lace baby blanket. I'm trying my best to do 2 rows a day. There's still a few months left before it has to be ready. I haven't decided how long I'm going to make it because I still have 9 balls left. And I'm on my ninth ball, so I don't think that I'm going to use them all. And I haven't decided what to do to make it wider either. I got my first toe-up sock finished. My sister sent the 2 VPNs that she found. So now I have 4 in one size and 2 different sizes. But I don't mind because I realized I much prefer working with 5 DPNs than 4. Some time ago I made myself a DPN holder. Just 2 bell-shaped pieces of wood that I got from the craft store, and then I put a piece of elastic through. I've made it a bit shorter for these DPNs because they're shorter than the other ones I made it for. So it's quite easy to use. Here's my finished first toe-up sock. Turned out well, I think. And then I started my second one. Unfortunately, I didn't write down what cast on I used, and I had several written down. But even though they're different, I don't think it matters. And also, I had written that I changed to the smaller DPNs for my ribbing, but I didn't write down what size DPN I knit the sock on. And there happened to be 2 sets of this size in the bag I was using. So I thought I'd try the sock with I think it's 2.75 millimeters. Forgot to check. And then see if the sock turned out the same size. And it did, fortunately. But soon I'm going to come to my next problem, and that is the heel. I wrote down several different types of heel, and I didn't mark at all which one I used myself. So once I get there, I'll have to put a lifeline in, and then, like I have one here, and then just keep trying the heel until it looks the same as this one. Then I started something new. Granny G at Crafternoon Tea with Granny G had a contest quite a while ago, and I won it. She sent along some hand-dyed yarn, and I had meant to design myself a shawl, but I kept putting it off because I don't really know much about shawls. And then I finally decided that I'll just choose a shawl from Ravelry and see how that goes. So I chose this one. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but I'm calling it a Freya shawl by Renate Hegler. I'm using stitch markers, but they're not really helping because it seems that the amount of stitches between each stitch marker isn't the same every row. But I just moved them here and there. I had to go through a lot of my projects to find the stitch markers that I could fit on these 6mm needles and without scratching the bamboo. Because some of the stitch holders that I have that are exactly the same have a smaller ring. And I got the rings from my son when he was younger, he started to do a chainmail vest or jacket or whatever it is. He hasn't finished it yet, and I don't remember when he last worked on it. But after that, he made these rings out of some wire. And then I asked him recently, did he remember why, but he doesn't. And then after that, he's made silver rings, and he's made jewelry out of them. But I think it's going to look quite nice once it's blocked out. And hopefully I won't have to rip back too many times. I've already had to rip back once because there was a new stitch that I didn't know, and I wasn't careful with my counting. So I decided just to rip back and try again. Then for quite a long time I've been wanting to try to do a small toy for the Toy Society. It's a site on the internet where people make toys and then they leave them around with a note saying that it's for free and that the person can take it. And hopefully whoever finds it will go to the site and say that they found it. I tried this owl. It's an owl cable owl by Alicia Weisberg Robert. I noticed there that someone had made it into a finger puppet. It's supposed to be a toy owl. So I thought I'd try the finger puppet idea. But I think I've used 2 small needles because it's quite stiff. I'm going to try it in a bit bigger needles and see how it goes. I thought I'd try a new section in my podcast. This is a hat that I started last fall. I wanted to use it for winter. But then when I got to the crown, I didn't like it because it was all bumpy. I put it away for a while, thinking I would do it before the snow came. And then I couldn't decide what kind of crown I wanted. I ride a bicycle all year round and I wear a helmet. So I need a hat that's not too bulky at the top because I don't want it to feel uncomfortable under my helmet. This is quite a nice hat. It's called the, oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry, I forget, and I didn't write it down, of course. Anyway, so you knit this cabling part first. And I made many more rounds than it called for because I'm not using the yarn that's in the pattern. Then you pick up along the edge, and I picked up many more stitches than was called for also. And then you just knit to the crown. Another reason I want to get this finished is because this piece of yarn belongs to something else I've been making. And I can't finish that until I take this yarn off of here. So my new segment is that I want to show something I want to get finished before my next podcast. So this is what I want to get finished. By next podcast, I have to make a decision. Am I going to keep this crown here, or am I going to make it smoother? And if I do, then I'll have to find some other way of doing the decreases. So let's see what happens next podcast. Today's review is this finished book. My translation of the title is From a Hat to Socks, and it's edited by Päivi Syrjäinen. And it's again a library book. The first thing I really liked was this hat. The reason I liked it is because the yarn is so thick and I think it just looks so different. I don't know how warm it will be because with the thicker yarn, and I'm assuming that the gaps between the stitches will be larger. Then the next thing I liked was this scarf. As you can see, pieces sewn together, and then the shape of it is like this. I just think it's such a neat idea. Then we have this striped hat. I don't know why I like it. I don't really like stripes that much, but I was thinking that I might actually try it for myself if I get my other hats finished. But I always seem to have a reason for not finishing them. Then there are these socks. I like the idea of this sole. And then also that the underneath the cuff is just plain and you turn the cuff over. I haven't looked how they've done it. Is this done first, I suppose, and then you pick up stitches? And at the back of the book, they have simple instructions for simple mitts. I'll show you a bit how to do them. And then they have a pattern for simple socks. And they show the different sections of the sock, which I think is a good idea for people who never have knit socks. Then something about Finland. Well, today is Palm Sunday, and in Finland on Palm Sunday, children go door to door. They have a little rhyme that they say, and then in exchange for a treat, their reward, they give you these pussy willow branches that they have decorated. This is the first time I've seen that someone has bothered to put this cute little egg on it. Every year I buy a bag of candy, expecting that I will get these little witches coming to the door. And I think it's been 5 or 6 years since I've had anyone come to the door. But I keep buying a bag of candy, hoping that someone will come. This tradition started in one part of Finland, and slowly went all around Finland. And at first it was just girls dressed up as little witches who went door to door. But when my son was young, it was also boys that went around, and he went around maybe for 2 years with one of his friends. I don't know, do boys still go around, as no one has been coming to our door. And so this year I bought these candies, and often on the packages around Easter they'll have something to do with this tradition of giving out candies to the children. So that's all for this time. Last time I forgot to mention that show notes can be found at shirleysalad.blogspot.com, and you can write to me at shirleysalad@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.